There are many points in history where you could have linked verses to headlines. If the apocalypse is really happening, there must be a better way to. Good morning, kings and queens. Today is Wednesday, November 10 at the time of shooting. I'm just doing my beach run, my morning jog. Cool little tree fort. I never noticed that. I stayed there one time in this part, but I never noticed that tree fort. So, a lot of people don't know this about me. I'm actually a Bible school student. I know a bit about the Bible. I took interest this one day. I was at this it's a classroom setting. My boxing coach brought me there. And this guy, Randy Cates, he was pointing out that we're right at the edge of the last days. And it's 2020, at the time it was 2019. It was December 2019. So 2020, things are gonna start to happen. And like what he said was based on a Daniel 9 prophecy. And all the stuff he said that was gonna happen, it actually started to happen. So I was so interested after that. So I made this video. This is FBFM, and today we present the End Times Calendar. We have all heard the 7-day creation story. The Lord created the world in 6 days, and on the 7th day he rested. Now is it possible that this story has a deeper meaning? Each day in the creation story represents a millennial time period. It is well known that there is a weekly Sabbath on the 7th day of the week. What is lesser known is that there's also a sabbatical year of rest, and on a larger scale, there is also a millennial rest period. Woohoo! In order to understand the ending, we must understand the beginning. You might be wondering, where did we get this knowledge? And how did we get those numbers? Genesis 6:3.
Forever, for he is flesh. His days will be 120 years.
The word years in the English Bible was translated from Shana in Hebrew. Shana is better translated as cycles of time or Jubilee cycles. One Jubilee cycle is 49 years. Genesis 6:3 is better understood. Man has 5,880 years from the creation of Adam. This chart counts by 49 years. The year 5880 is equal to 2044 in Gregorian calendar. There are 120 Jubilee cycles, and we, my friends, are in the very last one. So based on the calculations in the video I showed you, we're in the year 5,857 of 5,880. So 2021 is 5857, 5880 is 2044. But I'd be lying if I told you we have until then to live our lives. Billions of people are prophesied to die. That's just the way it is.
Hey, what the f***? You guys are still alive? Yeah! Holy shit, I didn't expect that.
Okay. Everyone wants to believe they'll be one of the few ones left over. But not everyone's going to live. Even some of the saints are going to be martyred.
The Islamic narrative, the Jews are the evil ones that need to be exterminated. You go, okay, that kind of works together. And likewise, the Christians in the biblical narrative are God's people that are being martyred throughout the world as they give a faithful testimony. And so I guess...
like they're going to get their heads chopped off for their beliefs. The way the Bible works is if you die as a saint, you'll be resurrected for the kingdom. This going to heaven at death is not actually a biblical concept. No one who came from heaven will go to heaven. We're human beings. We didn't come from heaven. We came from here. So we're not going to heaven. It's actually in that Our Father, thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Look at the flowers. This wasn't here before. Psychedelic. It's saying that the kingdom is coming down to earth. So there's this earthly kingdom, and it's Yeshua or Jesus, who said it himself.
It is well known that there is a weekly Sabbath on the seventh day of the week. What is lesser known is that there's also a sabbatical year of rest, and on a larger scale, there is also a millennial rest period.
So, if we're to prepare for the kingdom, we should be living like saints, which just means being Torah observant. And a lot of this stuff is stuff that you already do anyways. You just look more deeply into it. There's also this other thing called the Hebrew calendar, which is actually in your phone. Let's check it out.
Alright, so let's go into our phones and click settings, calendar. Next, alternate calendar, Hebrew calendar. Now we go into our calendar.
So they're not far off. We're on different numbers, different calculations, but they're not that far off. Have you ever looked up Islamic Eschatology? So because of most of these signs have actually happened, it seems like almost all of them on the list. Let's go back here. So because most of these things have already happened or happening, it's very clear to them that we're in the end times.
Muslims also believe in the return of Jesus. Now, you get all these gullible Christians, missionaries, and they go, oh, yeah, no, Muslims. Like, they only focus on the similarities. And they go like, oh, you're a Muslim, that's wonderful. You believe in the return of Jesus? I do too. We practically believe the same thing. Like, isn't that wonderful? Yeah, they do believe Jesus is going to return as a Muslim for the purpose of converting all Christians to Islam. Like, so they call him Jesus. They say someone's coming back named Jesus. But they don't believe what we believe. They take the term Messiah and they strip it of all its biblical meaning. So what does Islam teach with regard to the return of Jesus? Well, as you can see there, Jesus, he's not our Jesus.
So this is super interesting. Their eschatology has parallels, and also their doctrine is connected.
But in many ways, it's this mirror image of what the Bible teaches, except they've flipped the whole script upside down to where all of our good guys are their bad guys. You know, in the Bible, the Jews are God's people who are persecuted and hated and invaded and killed, but the remnant survives, and the Lord saves them when he returns. But in the Islamic narrative, the Jews are the evil ones that need to be exterminated. You go, okay, that kind of works together. And likewise, the Christians in the biblical narrative are God's people that are being martyred throughout the world as they give a faithful testimony. And so I guess, well, this is pretty specific. According to Islamic prophecy, the Mahdi would rule for how long? 7 years. Well, that's just a coincidence. You're reading too much into this, Joel. The Prophet Muhammad said, the Mahdi will fill the earth with equity and justice as it was filled with oppression and tyranny. He will rule for 7 years. This is from the Hadith collection of the father of David, Abu Dawood. The Antichrist, according to the Bible, of course, we don't even need to look at it, will rule for a period. He will have a 7-year period.
Now, it's actually possible to understand when exactly those 7 years are by understanding the Sabbatical and Jubilee calendar. Daniel's 70th week is the 120th Jubilee cycle, the 70th week from the time of Moses at the burning bush, which was the 50th Jubilee cycle. One prophetic week, or in Hebrew, a Shabuah, is a 49-year period of time. 1996 to 2045 is a 49 period of time. It is the 70th week from the time of Daniel and the 120th and final Jubilee cycle. Halfway through that prophetic week is the year 2020.
2033 is the last year of the tribulation. We count backwards by 7 years to find our starting point.
Daniel's 70th week, he comes in at the beginning, he engages in this peace treaty or a covenant of some kind or a security agreement, whatever it may be, but it's in the and it's going to be a 7-year agreement. In the middle of that, he violates it, he breaks it, he sets up the abomination that causes desolation on the Temple Mount, right? Like numerous scriptures speak of that. We know that that's what the Bible says about Satan's puppet. Islamic prophecy says their Messiah would rule for that long.
The guy in the video, Joel Richardson, he knows about Islamic eschatology. He's a Christian preacher who's Torah observant. But to be honest, the only place that knows what's going on with the Sabbatical and Jubilee calendar is citedmoon.com. You guys got to visit there. Enjoy the rest of my video.
There are 120 Jubilee cycles, and we, my friends, are in the very last one.
Well, hello. Aren't you hurt? course not. There's no pain in the Garden of Eden.
If today was your last day, how would you live your life differently? What things must you do in order to die without regrets? Today might not be your last day, but take this video as a message to live life to the fullest.
Forgive your enemies. I want you to find the one you're dreaming of. Swear up and down to God that you finally fall in love. If today was your last day, if today was your last day, would you make your mark by many a broken?
You guys are still alive? Yeah! Holy
Never too late to shoot for the stars, regardless of who you are. So do whatever it takes, 'cause you can't rewind a moment in this life. Let nothing stand in your way, 'cause the hands of time are never on your side. If today was your last day, and tomorrow was too late, could you say goodbye to yesterday? Or would you live each moment like your last? Leave all pictures in the past, donate every dime you have. And would you call those friends you never see? Reminisce.
Alright, thank you for watching, Kings and Queens. Also, thank you for 100 subscribers. It's been really fun. They got Swedish pan beef across the road and live music. I'm gonna go enjoy that. Tune in next time.